My name's Gemma and I'm a freelance journalist. I specialise in travel and natural history, and I am the author of Slow Northumberland and Durham, which is a new guidebook that came out in 2012. Taking time to not just to physically move more slowly by different means of transport like train or walking, cycling, but also in the sort of way, in the things that you do, in the places you visit. Mainstream travel, if we're talking about the sort of mass tourism, there's obviously huge sort of environmental impacts and also the whole sustainability issue as well. How sustainable is sort of mass tourism when you see, resorts, sort of areas expanding and so on. One reason to slow down is because of the environmental impacts, and I think that's a huge part of it. And so, if you are engaging with local food producers by buying local food and going to restaurants with local food, or staying in small independent B&Bs as opposed to a chain hotel, then there's obvious benefits, not just environmentally, but to the local community and so on. So there's benefits there, but there's benefits to the traveller as well, because a lot of people think that if by slowing down and taking a more sort of roundabout route, not going to all the big attractions, just taking your time, and you engage with the place that you're visiting in a much more deep and meaningful way. I was hiking the Inca Trail in Peru, and it was hideous. We were bumper to bumper with the person, in front. So all I saw every day when we set out was backpack, and it's noisy. There's no wildlife at all because it's all scared away. Luckily, I sort of ended up, after a couple of days, or after the first day, I sort of decided to stay right at the back there was hundreds of people hiking, and I just sort of thought, you know what, I'm not going to sort of race to get to the next campsite. Bicycle's good, hiking boots. For me, I like to do sort of long distance hiking, so and cycling as well. So yeah, bike and hiking boots are pretty important. Binoculars. I think it's hard to sort of identify places because so much of slow travel is about discovering the sort of unsung places, the places that you won't find in the travel guidebooks. Lindisfarne's a particular sort of favourite place of mine. It's got the advantage of being cut off twice a day by the tide, so you do gain a sense of that whole sort of escapism is quite appealing. Nearby there's Ross Sands as well, which is a real sort of gem that's seldom visited, and just to walk along a beach like that, that's priceless. I can't think of anywhere else in England where you'd get that sort of experience. Newcastle, I'm biased, I'm from Newcastle and I love it, but God, I can, especially down near the quayside, I still, even though I know Newcastle so well and I thought I'd walked all its streets, and I still come across new places that I didn't know existed, and that happens from definitely not taking a map or a guidebook, but just wandering.